first of all, can I apologise for the stripy circles? My printer really is not happy about the amount of work it's having to do. So anyway, I've got myself 4 circles and I need to find their area. Important to remember, you won't be told this in the exam, you need to remember it yourself. The area of a circle is equal to pi multiplied by the radius squared. Okay, so we need to do that each time. So I'm going to label these 1, 2, 3 and 4 just so that it's really clear for you which one I'm doing. I'm doing this one at the moment, number 1. Okay, so to find the area, I need to do pi, which is a number between 3 and 4. If you don't have a calculator with pi on it, use 3.14. I'm going to multiply that by the radius. The radius is from the centre to the outside, so that's 2 centimetres squared. Now, hopefully, you've got a calculator. Oh my goodness, that's really badly focused. There we go. You've got a calculator with you with a pi button. So, using your calculator, you literally just enter that in. So, on this calculator, pi is shift and then times 10 to the power of x. Okay, so you can see the pi's appeared on the screen there. I'm going to multiply that by 2 squared. Equals. Now, it gives me the answer 4 pi because it thinks I want it really accurately, but my question asks for me to give the answers to 1 decimal place. So I need to round that answer to 1 decimal place. I need it in a decimal form. You press the SROD button and it will give it me as a decimal. 1 decimal place, well, that's 12.56. You can round up to 12.6. So that's right in here. And it's centimetre squared because it's area. Okay, let's have a look at number 2. It's difficult to see because of the stripiness, but here, again, we've been shown the radius from the centre to the outside, and it's 4.1. So this time, my area is pi times 4.1 squared. So again, I take my calculator, pi times 4.1 squared equals, again it gives it me as a value of pi. Even with fractions, that's more accurate than decimals. It doesn't matter, we just press the SROD button. 52.81, that's going to be 52.8. It's 1 decimal place. Right, now number 3 is different. Why is it different? Because we haven't been given the radius. What would be given instead? We've been given the diameter. So if the diameter is 14, first of all we need to think about what is the radius. The diameter is all the way across, the radius is 14, all the way across. The radius is halfway across, diameter is all the way across, so we want half of it. Half of 14 is 7. Now we can find the area. We're going to do pi times 7 squared. So on my calculator, pi times 7 squared, giving me 49 pi. I'm not interested in that, and when it's a decimal, 153.93, which means 153.9 to 1 decimal place. And finally, number 4, again, it's giving me the diameter. I need the radius first. I need the radius, so the radius is going to be half of that. Half of that's going to be 9.5 centimetres. Okay, so now I can put that into my calculator. Area equals pi times 9.5 squared. And that gives me 283.5. That first page is just your basic, here's some circles to find their areas. Ooh. The second page, hang on a sec, I dropped my working paper on the floor, which was a silly thing to do. There we go. Right, the second page has got some compound shapes and parts of circles, and he wants us to find the area of those. So first of all, let's have a look here at my first shape. My first shape is a quarter circle, but just imagine it was a whole circle. So just draw a little diagram if you want to, you don't have to. Okay, do we know what the diameter of the whole circle is? Sorry, the radius of the whole circle is. The radius would be 8. Okay, so what would the whole circle be? Well, that would be pi times 8 squared. If we wanted to, we can work that out now, and I'm going to because I know that a lot of you like to. That's really annoying. And I can't do anything about it. Sorry about the wire. So I'm going to do pi times 8 squared, giving me 64 pi. Or I could write down 201 point blah blah. I'm actually going to write down 64 pi. The reason is I don't have to worry about any rounding that way, okay? Now how much of the circle do I want? I only want a quarter of the circle. So quarter circle area would be 64 pi divided by 4, because I only want a quarter of it. So if I take my answer and I divide it by 4, it gives me 16 pi. If you'd taken it off your calculator now, this would be really accurate to put in 64 pi instead of putting in 201 point blah, just because it is more accurate. And then finally we get our answer to 1 decimal place, 50.26, which rounds up to 50.3. Put that one in there. Now here we've got number 2, and again just imagine that number 2 is a whole circle, and it's given us that is 14. So what's the radius this time? The radius is 7, which means that the area would be pi times 7 squared. Now I don't have to use a calculator to write down that it's 49 pi, partly because I used it already. And then I think about, well, how much of the circle do I want? I want half the area. So I take my 49 pi and I divide it by 2. I can put that into my calculator. I'm going to show you how to put that into your calculator. We just literally say what you say. So 49 pi. And divide it by 2 and give it as a decimal. 76.96. Now that means it's going to round up to 0.0, which means it's going to be 77.0. Oh, that's the wrong place. Silly, 77.0. Apologies for that. Never mind. Number 3, which I've started to do a little bit early, but never mind. So number 3 is 2 shapes stuck together. That means it's what's called a compound shape. Let's do the rectangle first, because the rectangle is really easy. So we've got the rectangle, which is 16 by 17. So that is literally just 16 times 17.2 on your calculator, giving me 275.2. Okay, so you don't need to remind me how to do the area of a rectangle, I'm sure. So that was the rectangle here. But now we need to find the area of the semicircle, the half a circle that's up here. So let's have a look at that. Think about it as a whole circle. Okay. Do we know any measurements of this circle? Yes, we do. We know that from here to here, the diameter is 17.2, which means the radius is going to be half of that. The radius is going to be 8.6. Okay, very important that we clarify the radius. So we think about the whole area. That's going to be pi multiplied by 8.6 squared. But we only want half the area, don't we? Because we only want that bit there. So we're going to take that and divide it by 2. So on my calculator I'm putting in pi times 8.6 squared divided by 2 equals, and it gives me 116.17, which rounds to 116.2. So I've got this bit here, which is 116.2. So for my final answer, I need to add together both of those areas. I don't need to calculate for this. 391.4. Treat the shape, compound shape, as 2 different shapes, and then it becomes much easier.